Some of you are new. I don't know. There's some new people.
Yeah，有人谁看过他
Raise your hand, please.
谁是没看过他的 ？Yeah，
Okay.
他 new。
So, maybe you don't know about the history of Moroso, but I can tell you something. Moroso was founded. Can we turn a little bit down the music? Moroso is a medium small Italian factory of furniture, founded in a little city near Venice called Udine in 1952. So 64 years ago, many times ago. So Moroso, what does it mean? It's the surname of the founder. So it's the family name. It's a family still now producing how to say, furniture from many years ago. So of course during this big time things changed a lot from the beginning to now. Changed because in 1952 the production was mainly classical, so very classic, very old style production and furniture upholstery mainly. Okay, we are talking about sofa, we are talking about small armchair and little chairs, but that's it, not much more than this. Okay. Year after year, things changed, and the company started to grow a little bit. And in the 80s, everything changed because the daughter of this founder, Miss Moroso, was very young at the time, fresh from the university in Bologna in Italy. She was very, and she's also now, she is very into design and into art, modern art, design, and everything connected with creativity. So she came to the factory and she started to collaborate with the father, and she decided to turn the production from a very how to say, classic production and design to a very design-oriented, so modern style. Okay, because in that time, in the 80s, in Italy, there was a kind of revolution of taste, of style. Everybody were much into something new, searching for something new. So new in all the fields, in everyday life, but also in a design, in a home environment. All the people in that time want to have something that related with the news, something new, using new material, having a new shape, new colors. So that was the time when Moroso started to switch from a very classical design to a very modern design. Okay, so now I would like to show you. Was the introduction about our brand for the people here that they are not very familiar with. Let me show you also a video of our factory from the words, directly from the words of Patrizia, who explain a little bit what is the production of Moroso. No? Thank you.
And this is Jessica.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes. It's okay. I was talking about, yes, the change. So we changed from a very classical to very modern design, and slowly Moroso started to be recognized as the most important design producer in Europe, mainly first in Italy, of course, second in Europe, year after year. And now we are recognized as the best trendsetter in terms of design, in terms of new shapes, in terms of new idea and new products. Okay, so let me show you a nice video. sorry guys, I disappeared everything. Let me see it. We can hear also the
Yeah,
sound of.
I think so. We can
Okay.
try.
Okay. Because otherwise I have the. This is a video. Before to start the video, but I would like to tell you something about Lots of people think about Moroso as a big company with all their robots doing the sofa, but it's not like this. Absolutely, it's not. When we talk about Moroso, we are talking about a small atelier, a small size, with people, not robots, okay, who do things, who make things with hands, okay. So sewing, stitching, upholstering, cutting the fabric, cutting the leather is done by hand. So it's a factory based on the hands work. Okay? So this is very important. No one. Now the sound is down.
还是很小声哦。
它右边都下面。
Just you. I have downstairs in my luggage. It's possible if someone can bring the luggage.
他的行李在下面，你帮他拿。
It's quite heavy. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, so this video can show you, in 3 minutes I show you the video. This video can show you exactly what does it mean stay and work in a factory that is the heart of innovation, of creation of the new styles. So, creating new styles, what does it mean? Oh, please, if you don't understand me, please say stop, okay? Creating something new, it means working together with the architects, with the designers, comes from all over the world. This is a very important part of the job. Patrizia Moroso, she is the art director of Moroso, and she is the person in charge to find the connection, human connection between Moroso and the designers from all over the world, from China, from Japan, from Europe, from the United States, from Africa, from everywhere, really everywhere, and try to create together, Moroso and the designer, something new. But we are not talking about just a stool or just a chair. We want to create an environment, a new kind of idea about living in a new house. Anytime is about to think something new, connecting with the living. Okay, it's not just an introduction. It's quite yeah, because I know that sometimes it doesn't work. So,
聊天。
art director of Moroso. Here we are in our headquarters in Udine, Italy. This is the showroom with all our products, and we also our factory. All of our products are made to order, and we do everything from the prototyping to the industrialization to the shipping all over the world. This is the prototype room where everything starts. It's very important, the space. It's a sort of hidden part of the company where we first meet the designers with their ideas. My uncle Marino, since many, many years, is cutting the first shapes on foam. This is one of my favorite pieces of foam. It's the body of Misfits, designed by Ron many, many years ago. And it's still something fantastic and very active, very contemporary. This is the area where we stock fabrics, our main material, because we are making that, basically, cutting and sewing dresses for bodies that are chairs, armchairs, sofas. The fabrics are part of the project since the beginning with the designer, because it's part of the personality of the object. So now we are going where we cut the fabrics and leather. This machine is prepared to cut a Victorian Albert armchair and then a sofa. Here we have our area for the sewing, and all the ladies here are preparing different things, so we can have a look. This is final introduction, the upholstery part of a chair designed by Raw Edges. This is another sofa. The name is My Beautiful Backside, designed by Nico and Jonathan de Chilevien. Here we put the covers that are first cut and then sewn over the bodies of the object. And this is the final step of the process where the product is packed and is going away somewhere in the world. Sometimes I want to go in and go.
Okay. So, a little company who produces very special things and sell it all over the world, even here in Taiwan, in Taipei. So now you know where come from the pieces that you are going to you have to sell. Okay. So this is very important. But I would like also to underline something else with a nice video, which is better for you because it's less. Okay, all this collaboration with the designers from all over the world bring to us a big, huge collection of products. Okay, you know, our range of products is really huge. If you see here, we have 230 different products that you can see, starting from little chairs, plastic chairs for outdoor, for example. You can put it outdoor, the price is very low, it's plastic. To big sofa composition, for example this one, this one, that could be used for airport, for example, was designed for that. Okay, so Moroso, it's not just home, it's also for project. We are really into project. Even if we were born for home. Okay, so products for home we have a lot. Okay, but there's some products are just for home. Some products can be used also for projects. Some other product like this one was made for projects. Okay, this is something that you have a little bit to understand. And in order to do it, I hardly suggest you to take this. Every one of you have to take this. Take it home and study. Okay? because here you can see all the production, all the stuff. So you can have an idea, a clear idea of what does it mean Moroso. Okay, if first learn the main objects, I mean the most used, like Victorian Albert, for example, for this one, which is one of the best seller of from Ronara design, or Fjord, which is another high back armchair, which is one of the best sellers that we sold a lot in the world. So you can find not only around in the house of the people, but even if you go in the mall, in Europe, maybe also here, you find sometimes some Moroso pieces inside. And it's good to recognize, because you can understand that Moroso pieces can be used also in a project, not only in the home environment. Okay, this is very, very important. The second thing that is important that you can feel looking this is how many colors. We are very colorful. Yes, correct. We are very colorful. The reason is that we have many different designs, come from the ideas of different designers, come from different parts of the world, and we are very into fabric. As Patrizia Moroso was saying before in the video, fabric is our main material. Okay, okay, we have also leathers, but fabrics much more. Why? Because with the fabrics, we consider the fabrics as part of the design since the beginning, as Patrizia told before. So, with the fabric is like the color of a painter. So, with nice, if you know how to use the fabric, you can create something that is amazing. And with the leather, you cannot do the same thing, because leather is another kind of material, and it's a material very flat. Yes, it's very rich. People recognize as very rich, of course. But at the end, leather is much less interesting in terms of, how to say, creativity that you can give to your clients. Okay, leather is leather. Boom, leather. Black, white, brown, everything you want. That's it. It's a language that you cannot change. It's always the same since the 1,000 years. Okay, but the fabric, no, it's not like this. The fabric is not. We can create the fabrics, new shadows, new material, new colors, and we can put a mix and match together. So this is something that is related with the creativity, and that's we really use. For us, it's important. And you have to pass to your clients when they say, okay, Moroso, it's good, but I would prefer the leather. Yes, but you have to tell them, leather, it's good. But if you want really something new, go to fabric. Okay. For this reason, we are a little bit more complicated than the other, even if I see that Flexform, they have a lot of fabrics also. But we have a lot of fabrics, and sometimes our clients, they tell me, look, Paolo, okay, Moroso is fantastic, but you have so many fabrics, and it's difficult to find a way to choose a fabric for clients. Okay? But I showed you last time the guide I created to choose a fabric, and now I'm going to show you again. I would like to show you again because it's important in order to understand better. First, I would like to know, yesterday I did the same, I asked your colleague in Taichung, what is the problems or the, I don't know, the problem that you have facing Moroso. I mean, when clients come to you, what is thing that creates much problem to sell Moroso. What do you think about Moroso? Is it simple for you, or is not simple at all? You have problems, you think could be better? Please, don't be shy. You? Yes?
I'm just thinking.
Okay. Why is she thinking? Someone else? Do you sell Moroso or not? Sometimes it happens, sometimes that someone asks for Moroso stuff or not. Hello? Nobody answered. Did you finish to...
I'm trying.
Ah, okay. So you have to speak with me, otherwise, because it's important. It's important because you have to sell Moroso, not me.
Yeah.
So I have to know from your side which are the problems, which are the good things or the bad things. Because otherwise I'm here for nothing, and it's not true. It's not good because my flight was very long. So please give me your impression one by one, please. Starting from you.
I'm not selling.
You are not selling Moroso. Italian Chinese.
She's not sales.
She's not sales. You are not sales? No, you are not.
Yeah.
You are sales?
我要吗？
Okay, tell.
就是我争取它的鹅绒跟 breast form 的鹅绒的，就是他们的应该说争取的鹅绒，它有特别选过，有比 breast form 好。那它的翘棉可以支撑到，因为有的客人会常问我10年之后的那个翘棉，它可以支撑到10到20年。
His question is because we have another big solar brand here, platform, so you also have service there. And people usually ask the quality of the foods. Is yours better or theirs? Or what the difference? And how long does the sponge last?
Hold on, sorry.
You got the sponge How long does the flexibility last? 10 years, longer, or?
Okay. So let's say we have a warranty of for the structure. So inside it means the metal part. Do you understand me? Do you understand me?
Okay, sorry.
Okay. We have a warranty of 5 years on the structure, internal structure, I mean the iron steel structure and the foam. Okay, so 5 years. It doesn't mean that at the end of 5 years it's destroyed, no. It can be also 10 years. Of course, it's depend by the use that the customer do. But anyway, 10 years for a sofa is normal. Okay, not for the fabric, maybe. After 10 years, sometimes the fabric is not it's not perfect, let's say. But the internal part is perfect. Difference between Moroso and Flexform in terms of quality is 0. Because we use almost the same supplier, we use the same material. So, differences could be between a model of chair of Moroso and a model of chair of Flexform. But we can say that the quality between Moroso and Flexform is the same. Okay, and also the price. That's the reason why the price is very, very similar. Okay, or maybe Flexform is much more expensive. I don't know. But
Moroso 整组的价格跟 Flexform 整组的价格就是说，假如你不是选最顶级的皮套或皮套 ，suppose 他们两个这样下来价格是差不多。所以虽然他们品牌定位不同，但是不表示他们等级品质上有差很多。而且因为他们都算是前几名的品牌，所以 他们供应商其实就是那个形象，所以其实是没有办法跟，尤其是我们都是这些品牌代理商，你没有办法告诉客人真的这个比较好或那个比较好。在就是说，比如说儿童的品质上来讲，其实因为他们许多东西都是同样的供应商或是同等级的供应商，因为他们的价格带是在一样的人群，所以东西的原物料跟供应是差不多的。那再来就是说，其实原厂有给，可能你们会读到，就是有去 inspection 读，或是说它的这个 catalog 里面有读到说它的 warranty 是给到一个就给5年份这样。那当然，因为我们是就是总代理商的时候，独家代理的时候，我们这种可能是零售公司的策略的话，不是给客人这么久的保护期限。那他的意思是说，如果你读到这个并不表示说，因为保护只是我愿意给你这个东西保护期限，我不可能永无止境的一直去帮你保护啊，因为本来沙发就是一直要被使用的产品，它不可能永远的洁心亮丽、结构完整，所以就端看这个使用者。如果他的小孩子每天把它当蹦蹦床跳，这样10年下来，跟一个就是只是老夫老妻，然后每天这样坐着，但没有人去蹦蹦跳，这样子的那个10年之后这2张沙发一定会有所差别。所以他说，但是其实如果你读到那个东西，或是只是说他们可以提供这个期限，但是基本上。内部结构啊，包括就是金属结构、木结构，还有泡棉跟那个羽绒的部分，其实都10年用10年不是个问题。对，甚至就是说其实是可以用，因为沙发板就是可以用蛮久的一个时间的东西。可是他说，当然也要看说这个使用者自己的习惯不太好。他说，如果你是布陶沙发的话，有些有清洗的习惯啊，可能洗久了以后，但不可能说第一次那个颜色的饱和，用了10年以后还是这种饱和。但当然也不会到褪色了，还懂吗？只是很多东西是人为，但是他一说放心啦，就是正常使用范围下，其实他们东西是有一定的品质保证跟用10年。如果有一次特别提10年，他说这 OK 的，不是问题。
Okay, so the quality is always on top of our thing. So we cannot sell a piece of 7,000 euro without quality. Okay, it's not always easy to manage the quality because sometimes we are talking about every time something new that is really industrialized in 3 months or 4 months and then sold. But sometimes it happens that we have some problem with quality. It happens. But we try to do our best to give to our customers something that is not. It's very different from medium brands or low brands. Okay, 7,000 euro for a piece. It's not waste of money. It's not, because it's top quality in terms of design, in terms of creativity, in terms of fabrics, in terms of structure, in terms of all the part that allows to your sofa to be there the same even in 10 years or 15 years. Okay. Can you?
我们刚刚讲到这个品牌定位，他就说，因为 Moroso 这个品牌是进阶在这个高端精品品牌，或是所谓的高端的设计的品牌，所以就在欧洲花几千欧元买沙发，也不是一件平常人或一般人供得起的价格，它的确是比较高单价，所以他也承认说，他的东西 price range 就不是中价位或中低价位。就是几千欧元或者几千欧元的东西，其实它这个价格一定要做出好的品质，不然不会有人愿意购买，不会有花这么多钱去买不好的东西。那所以它的这个品质，并不是说单纯的讲说这个产品的品保的部分，也包括说他们的设计、工艺技法、技术。 原物料以及最后成品每个阶段都要有品质的维护。那他也承认说，对一家工厂或平台来讲，你在每个阶段的品质都要求到位，其实是很难去维持的。但是他今天敢卖这个价格，就是要把最好的东西给你。对，所以这一部分的话是可以再跟客人沟通或教育客人，你买的这个品牌，也许你还没有听过，但是这个是就是精品品牌、高端品牌、好的设计的品牌、好品质的品牌，所以它是这种价值。
Okay. So someone else, please.
gentry 的那个布料有一款是麻花的，那它做起来其实是非常有弹性、非常舒服，但是有客人会觉得说它摸起来的材质是稍微比较粗一点的。那以他的经验，像如果客人有这样子的反应的话，是不是有什么它的优？
所谓的材质是指它的外表
我找一下
里面的弹性的东西，让它去表面
这样摸，就是它是舒服的，但是客人摸的时候会觉得它还是偏比较粗。但是想说，以他今天怎么去跟客人对，还有这一块，因为下面我是当东西啊，
这是一样的吗？外面都是
所以它是做成这样，
对，下面要找
就是你会觉得说这个对客人来讲还是太次的，
那就是要
所以你是指这除了笼布之外，这是要表达对不对？像是这
下面有一块，可能等一下要下去看那个
灰色的那一块，灰色的，
就是类似像这种资料，
对，然后这种是这样，就是他跟我想说，你有平板吧？那是我跟客人说，哎，虽然说因为客人都知道它很舒服，但是摸起来就是会比较粗糙。
我的简单一点，比方说。
Speak with the
Oh, yeah.
to people.
Okay.
People.
Oh, yeah, but I'm going to translate to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
English. So they will understand. For your country so far and regardless so far, because it's they think the sofa is highest. They think both of the sofas are very comfortable. However, the fabric, the texture of the fabric, they think it's not delicate enough.
Delicate.
Yeah, it's not like silky, it's not that. So I think the quality of the texture is not that thick. And she asked, like this one.
She's talk about this one or talk about this one?
Oh,
Because it's different.
This one and this one, both. Like this fabric and this one, we don't have like this one, this one edge. They like the pattern, they like they like the comfortable.
Okay. You know that redondo can be upholstered both with this and with this, you know. But this is the redondo textile hanger. So here you can find a lot of fabrics that can be used for redondo. Okay, could be used this one, could be used this one, and inside here you can find cotton, silk, linen, a lot of different kind of fabrics. So of course we have also something like this one, which is a velvet. Okay. Delicate, it means silky or something, or shiny or something like. We have. There's this one. There's this one, which is velvet again. It's not a normal velvet anyway. By the way, it's a velvet. It's directional. I mean, the hair is not straight on. It's like this. Okay. So that's the reason why it's so shiny. Okay, so it's a.
But I think the others.
The others.
Rough. The touch.
The touch. Ah, the touch.
The touch is
Okay.
rough.
The touch is rough. It's correct. It's good. It's
But
right.
the client, so,
It's right.
but the client
Because-
it could be more delicate.
Okay. But even here we are talking about remix. You know, this is rough. This is rough. Touch. Why? Because the composition is 90% wool and 10% linen. Nylon. Okay, but it's not just this. The why we have also other this is a remix. A remix is a quadrat fabric. Okay, you find here also the remix. I don't know if you have. But anyway, it's one of the. This one. It's not. Okay. For example, seems like remix. The composition is exactly the same. The colors are quite similar, but the touch is different. It's much less itchy. Okay, if you see, it's very similar to this. It's very, very similar, but this is softer. And the composition, if you check the composition, is exactly the same. Because this was yarned in a different way. Okay? But anyway, we're talking about Redondo. Redondo, thanks God, we don't have just a remix inside, which is itchy. I agree with you. But we have also other for example, this one, which is cotton, no, linen, 100% linen, and very a little bit also shiny. Could be this, which, if you touch it, is really, really soft. Okay, even this one is really soft. It's linen. It's like my suit. We have the velvet. Remix are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors of remix, and the other are really soft. So I think it's not a problem. If we think about this one, if we're talking about this one, it's completely different. Because maybe your customer can tell that it's not very refined, could be. It's not very elegant, could be, but not very soft. It's not, because this is super soft. This is super soft. Okay, this is a padded fabric that we can use applied on Gentry, as well as Redondo, as well as many other models. So, thanks God we have a lot of different fabrics, and so you can choose among different fabrics, and you can give to your clients the best. But you know how to choose the fabric? Do you have any question about how to choose the fabric of Moroso? Everything is super. I'm useless. So, I would like to show you again, maybe it's good for you to know how to choose a fabric. I create this presentation, I already showed you in the past the presentation, and maybe some of you are new, so I would like to show also them how to choose. So, as I told you before, we are very into fabrics, so the knowledge of fabrics is very important for Moroso. Okay? We have 3 main suppliers. The first is Quadrat, the second is Rubelli, and the third is Fabric. Another important thing to know is that fabrics, we change fabrics, the collection, very fast. So you must be updated about the fabrics, because otherwise you suggest a fabric, for example, to your clients that is not anymore in production, and this is a big problem. Okay, so try to be updated, calling our colleague in Singapore, and try to be updated about the fabrics. Okay, so how to choose the Moroso fabrics? We can divide the Moroso fabrics in 2 categories. The first is Moroso trolley, that is this one, and the second is the complementary fabric, which is this one. Okay. There is a difference, of course. The Moroso trolley was made by the designers and by Patrizia Moroso, and is a selection of fabrics to give a suggestion for to upholster Moroso, okay, was made for Moroso. It's a selection of fabrics, comes from different suppliers, okay. Could be Quadrat, could be Umbelli, could be Fabric, could be other suppliers, okay. These are the hangers directly from the supplier. So this is, for example, Quadrat, a Quadrat hanger. So when we're talking about complementary fabric, we are talking about directly the fabric of the supplier. Because why we use this? It's not enough. This is not. It's not, because Quadrat has thousands of beautiful fabrics that are not included in our trolley, but can be used. So first, learn to use our trolley, and second, you can also use Quadrat fabric, which is something that we do a lot when we are talking about projects, for example. In the projects, public spaces, we use just this one, never this one, because this was created for private home, for private people. This is fabrics that was created for public spaces. With you know Martindale circles, it's a test they do on the fabric called Martindale. They do a test to test their resistance or abrasion resistance, something like that. So in this kind of fabric, in this test, the result is very high. It means that you can use, and it's suitable perfectly for intense use, for public spaces. Okay, and even is flame retardant, which is something that is required in big projects. For example, in Italy, I don't know here, but in Italy, if you want to put a Moroso piece inside a public space, must be certified for flame resistance. Must. You cannot do otherwise, in other way. Okay, so we must use this kind of fabrics. If we use this fabric, it doesn't work, because this is not certified flame retardant. This is not. This is for home environment. Okay, that's the reason why we have two different kind of fabrics. One is the trolley, and one is the complementary, what we call complementary fabric. Okay. So the hanger included in the Moroso trolley, as I told you, have been created to give a complete range of upholstering possibilities to our products. The hangers can be dedicated to a specific product or can be crossover. It means fabric collection suitable to be used to cover different products. Okay, so the difference is one hanger created and dedicated to one piece, like this one. This is redondo textile. It means that was created for redondo. That's it. I cannot use this for others, and redondo can't be used with other fabric, apart from the big chubby. But this was created for redondo, okay? And so it was created and dedicated to one piece. Then we have the what we called crossover. For example, units. Units is not the name of a piece of Moroso. It's the name of the fabric, okay, the hanger. So this hanger was created to give a solution to upholster many different pieces. Okay, it can be good on gentry, can be good on lowlands, can be good on many others. Okay, this is the crossover. If you have doubt, please stop me. Complementary fabrics are top high quality materials produced by several Italian and European suppliers, can be used as an alternative to Moroso trolley hangers. Okay. our main suppliers are Quadrat, Fabric, Nubelli. The first one is Quadrat. He's the main supplier of us, but is also a main supplier of many. I'm sure that if I'm looking on Flexform, I find a lot of Quadrat fabrics, a lot, because Quadrat is the main supplier of a lot of Italian and international brands. Okay. But how to choose, really how to choose the Moroso fabrics? When a customer comes to you, the first step is looking on the price list. Okay, you have the price list 2016, 16, not 14, updated on the bottom of any page, the first page of each model, you see recommended fabric hangers. Okay, this is just an example, but you see in this case we have Divina, we have 110 Quadrat for Moroso, Hallingdal and leather. Okay, what does it mean? It means when you see a number, it means that we are talking about an hanger, a Moroso hanger. You see, the number is here and the number is here. Okay, this is a Moroso hanger that calls Quadrat for Moroso number 1. Okay, when you don't see the number and you see just the name, it's because we are talking about a Quadrat hanger. So there is called, okay, you don't have it. Here is Divina. So Divina is the name of a very famous fabric from Quadrat that you don't have here, but I'm sure you have somewhere else. And Divina. This is Hallingdal. Is another very famous fabric from Quadrat. So it means that this model Vinta of Moroso can be upholstered with Hallingdal from Quadrat, Divina from Quadrat, and the fabrics comes from the hanger 110 Quadrat from Moroso number 1. Okay, it's clear? Another thing that I'm very happy, because your colleague here, she knows perfectly, and I'm very happy about it, it's Monet. Monet is, do you know, everybody knows it? Okay, please. Everybody, you know, what is it? No, okay. Okay, Monet is a website, okay, website where everybody of you can go. Okay, there's only a password and how to say? Yeah, you have to put the password inside, but she knows everything, so you can go really easily. And from here you can download a lot of information that is very useful to sell Moroso. For example, just an example. We have the list of the hangers on the trolley. We have the recommended fabrics. We have the catalog images. If your clients ask for an image and you don't know where to find it, you go there, catalog images. You write the name of the model, and you find all the pictures. Download high resolution, low resolution, and you can send to your clients. This is very important. Catalog images, you can download all the catalogs, you can download the warranty, you can download for example, instructions. Okay, the instruction to set up a table, maybe your clients ask for because they want, I don't know why, but sometimes it happens. Okay, so you can find the instructions there. You can find a lot of material. But the important thing is recommended fabric, because when you have some doubt, you can go in click on the recommended fabric, put the model, the name of the model here, apply filter, and you see a list of fabrics which are all the fabrics that you can use or you cannot use. Okay, so if you have some doubts, you can put the name of the model, okay, and check if the fabric is suitable or not. Okay, or the list of the fabric suitable for that model. So you can really you can have all this kind of very important information. So please, when you are free for your job, please have a look, 5 minutes, have a look of this, because it's very, very interesting. Okay. Moroso trolley, this is not updated because it's 2015, but the 2016 is quite the same. This is just to let you understand that have the trolley updated is something that is very, very important. Because if you miss some parts, it's a problem for you to sell. And if you have something that is not anymore in production and you give this suggestion to your clients, is a big problem. Because after you have to call the clients and say, I'm sorry, this textile is not anymore in production, so we have to change. It's a big problem. I know this because I used to do your job for 5 years in Milan. I used to work in the showroom in Milan. So I sell Moroso, I sold Moroso, and I sell even now to final customer, like you do too. So I know the problem. Okay. Okay. The leather.
So it's only that they don't have fabric. I think they supply a
Forget. No, now I'm going to, yeah.
Is it on
Last one.
just this one?
Just this one.
Or is there more?
Two.
From two? Oh, there. Oh, this is two. Yeah. Okay, then. Thank you.
Now I'm going to show you something. Okay, this was what we were talking about before, Hallingdal from Quadrat. Maybe you don't have this big, but you have this. This is one of the most used fabric of Quadrat. We are talking about wool, 100%, so very elastic, being wool, easy to maintain, with fire resistant, okay, and this one of the best fabric to be used for offices, for public spaces, okay. Maybe it's a little bit itchy for hot countries, but still it's very used. Divina, I kindly suggest you to have a Divina.
I think so. They have some
They
here.
have,
Yeah,
okay,
or some
because it's very, very important for us. For example, you know that Moroso has a big family of products from Ronarat. Okay, in Taichung, I don't know if you have some pieces here, but in Taichung you have a big piece of Ronarat. Ronarat is the designer, okay, the very important designer who collaborates with us since the 80s, and we have a big family of products like the Victorian Albert, the chairs, do a lot of things. And all these kind of pieces are covered with Divina. Okay? Thank you. This one, for example, this one, which is one of the best seller of Moroso and the icon of Moroso in the world, we use Divina. Why? Because the color is very bright. It's say elastic enough to follow the shape, okay, to follow the shape, because if we use another fabric more rigid, the result is full of wrinkles, and we don't want to this. So we want the effect to be like a sculpture, because this is a sculpture for us. It's a piece of art, modern art. So it must be perfect. Must be the surface without wrinkles, without problems. Okay, so Divina is very nice for this. This is Divina MD, which is the same, but we have a mélange effect. Mélange in France language, it means the color is not plain color, it's not full color, but we have some spots inside, no? And the result is it seems like something from the 70s. It's nice, it's very nice. We use it a lot. It's very modern, very modern. Then perla, tones, lots of different kinds of fabrics. Love, tonica, okay. The list of the fabrics from Quadrat you can see on the website. I kindly suggest you to go to the website of Quadrat and have a look to the collection that they have, because it's very helpful for you also, because I repeat, Quadrat is not the only supplier. It doesn't supply just Moroso, supply even Flexform or many other. So I suggest you to study a little bit more, doesn't mean what is Quadrat. So very fast, have a look to the trolley in order to have an idea, a clear idea of the hangers. Okay, some of you are very good and they put this label just for sushi collection. Correct, it's just for sushi collection. This was selected by Edvard van Vliet, which is a Dutch guy, a Dutch architect, who thought about the sushi collection. The name is sushi because it seems like a little bit something come from Japan. No, but it's not. It's not. It's just the patchwork of fabrics that give you the idea of Japanese style. But it's not Japanese. Even the fabric, it doesn't come from Japan. It comes from North Africa or many parts of the world. But the game is, the project is to create a patchwork of fabrics, different colors, different patterns, but together, combined together, is amazing. Okay, so this is the idea behind the sushi collection, and you can use just this one. Okay, Quadrat 1 and Quadrat 2 from Moroso are two hangers that you have there. It's because we decided to put directly Quadrat fabric inside an hanger of Moroso, because we noticed that four fabric were very used very often. So we decided to include in a Moroso hanger those four. The first is steel cut trio, which is one of the best Quadrat fabric, and we use a lot. And maybe you have some pieces in steel cut trio. Steel cut trio is an amazing fabric, amazing because it's colorful, but the color is not plain. The surface is made of 3 yarns, not just one, 3 with 3 different colors weaved together. Okay, so the result is a color, a beautiful color, maybe, but not. You cannot see really which color is. If you see from short distance, seems like a color. If you see from big distance, it changes completely. So it's very nice. It's used both for small chairs or small cushions or big sofas. Like Gently can be done with this. Lowland can be done with this. Shanghai Tea from Moroso, the big sofa, can be done like this, because this is very good. And even if it's 100% wool or something like, yes, I think it's 100% wool. But if the touch is not itchy, it's super smooth. Because the yarn are done in a way that it's not hairy. You cannot feel that it's wool. It's fresh. It's like the men's dress, you know, the men's. Even if it's wool, but you can dress it also in a hot weather. Okay, then we have star velvet, and field velvet are two fabrics that we use a lot for cushions and so on, and let's say padded part and soft part. Okay, then we have a redondo. The redondo that we saw before was made for redondo, just for redondo, and all the pieces that you see here comes always stitched like this, always. Okay, you cannot have a surface without stitch. No, you cannot have. Okay, redondo can be also upholstered with another fabric, as your colleagues before was talking about. We have another supplier that called Fabric, which is a supplier from Denmark. And they do this. They make this fabric that is a special fabric. You know, this fabric has a story behind. It's not a strange fabric, and that's it. This was an idea from Patrizia Moroso and Patricia Urquiola. You know Patricia Urquiola, the designer. So together they visited a company some years ago. This company used to produce a fabric to cover the mattresses. You know mattresses to sleep. Okay, the mattress has normally are covered with a fabric that is padded itself. It's soft. Okay, so they, Patrizia Moroso and Patricia Urquiola, they decided to ask to this company to create something new for upholstered sofas, okay, and not anymore the let's say mattress. Okay, so they ask, why don't we create a different pattern, a new pattern, like this one, and ask them to create a new fabric to upholster sofas. Okay, so they decided to collaborate together, and first they create this. For the very first time, nobody else, no other brands, has in the beginning this. This was a novelty, real brand new idea. So for the first time, the fabric became padded and soft itself. Okay, and we can put it on a chair. We can upholster cushions. We can upholster big sofas. We can upholster almost everything with this. And we have two times good, because the first is very, very soft and comfortable. And the second, we create a pattern, 3D pattern, which is very decorative. Okay? So, from that point, Fabric, which is the supplier, start really to be a big company. In the beginning, it was just a company for mattresses. Now it's very, very big and important, and start to collaborate with many other brands. And this idea, you can find also other brands can use this idea and create other fabric padded as. But the first was Moroso, just to let you understand. Okay. Then we have the new spatial. The new spatial was created to collect special fabrics, very decorative fabrics from Japan, to create cushions mainly. Okay. Now all this part is out of production, so the hanger is almost dead. But still we have the first part of fabrics, that is this one, that are the sample to upholster this model that you have maybe. Do you have this model? Maybe in attention. This model is the paper planes. Paper planes is upholstered with fabric, a very special fabric that has printed lines and squares and so on. And this is you can find here the piece of fabric to show to your clients. Okay. Surfaces for massas. I don't know if you have massas here, but massas is a very nice sofa created by Patricia Occhiola, and the idea is to cover the sofa with something which is very stiff, without wrinkles. It's like the dress of a man, okay, the raincoats, okay. The effect that Patricia Occhiola wants to give to the sofa is this: a dress, something that is perfect, that is elegant, without any wrinkles, stiff and rigid. Okay. In order to create this effect, we are forced to do something to the fabric, because the fabric is flexible. Okay, you cannot stand the fabric like this. So we have to apply another layer on the fabric in order to give to make it rigid and stiff. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, the fabric is a normal fabric from Quadrat. Can be canvas or can be remix, the one we saw before. Can be also Divina. This is Divina Mélange MD. Okay, but we do what? We glue another layer of synthetic cotton. We glue on. Okay, so the result is that the fabric became rigid. You cannot see wrinkles here. It's rigid, really, no? So we can, now that is glued with this part, we can cut it, we can stitch together and create the cover of the masses. Okay, this means that we can use all this fabric. All this fabric will be glued with this part, and we can use also, if we want, we can use other Divina. Okay, if we want, we can ask, if your clients ask for a Divina Black, is not here, included here, but we can do it. Okay. Surfaces for massas is done with the Divina fabric. People for Gentry. People for Gentry was created by, it's a selection of fabrics created by Patricia Occhiola to upholster Gentry, okay, in the beginning. But it's not just for Gentry. Gentry could be covered with other fabrics, not just this one. Text one. We have a lot of colors, a lot of materials, different materials that can be used, as well as these fabrics can be used in for other. It's not dedicated. It's not dedicated. It's just suggested. It's a suggestion. Okay. So much that here this can be used for Redondo, for example, for Gentry or for many other pieces. Okay. So this can be considered as a crossover hanger. Okay. Storytelling was nice, but unfortunately it's going to die. So don't use it. Okay, was just for cushions, maybe. This is very important. Units 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are missing one. Are crossover. Crossover fabric. It means that you can use for many different sofas and chairs and armchairs. Okay. So, if your clients ask for something that you can't find, go here and you find for sure something, because there's a lot of fabrics it's family of fabrics that are together for colors. So here you see the medium tones, then you see in the other the reds, the greens. So you find, for sure you find something. Okay, very, very easy. Oh, this is finally the Elastic Fantastic. Fabric, which is the supplier of the big braid here, okay, create a second edition of fabrics for Moroso, which is this one. We have this and another one, this too. Okay, the supplier is always Fabric. This, who made this, okay? The idea is create something padded as well as this one, but not so much, okay? We are talking about a fabric that is very thick, very elastic, so you can use it upholstery on everything, almost everything, okay? We have plain color, like this one, melange color, like this one, that can be used for gentry, for many pieces, for the backside of armchairs, fjord, for example, almost everything. Small poof also can be done. And also we have this, which is a plain color with this pattern on the top, which is good for cushions. I think it's the best, even because the color is very strong. So if you use this for a big sofa composition, maybe it's too much. So better to use this part. Okay. Then the second one is this one. And we have new colors of big braid. Another kind of braid, which is this one. We don't use so much, but you can do it. So if you want cushions, it's amazing, for example, with this. Okay. And we have a very special fabric, which is blur fabric. The name is blur. Blur, why? Because the surface has this kind of gradient, which is a change of color that starts from a color and finish with another color. Okay, so for example, this start with red and finish with white. Slowly. The peculiarity of the strange things about this fabric is that this gradient is not printed on, is made with the yarns. If you see, it's not printed. It's not a printing effect. It's made, we call it jacquard. Jacquard is a way to do yarns, to create pattern and shapes and color, using, not printing, not putting the color on the fabric, but using different color of yarns. Okay, yarns is okay. If you use different color of yarns and you put together and you weave in a certain way, you can create a color, a drawings, whatever you want. Okay, it's a different way to create patterns. Okay. The other way is to print, of course, print on with the ink on the surface. So this is not printed, is jacquard. Okay? And here you have the effects of every fabric. These start from white and finish with black. Of course, this is an effect that is very strong. So if you do a gentry with this, my God, I don't know if it's a good idea or not. But for small pieces like a poof, little poof, or cushions, or the back of a little chair, sometimes it's very nice. Okay, so use it gently, not too much. Okay, then we have this. You have this collection, no? you do diesel, no?
Yes.
So diesel, we have the three hangers that can be used for diesel collection. On the diesel price list, you will see this one. This is how to say? What's the name of this? To say in English.
Fabric suggestions?
Yeah, no, I mean the square.
Matrix.
Could be. Okay, matrix. This is a tool very easy to use in order to understand which fabric of the diesel hanger can be used, applied on which model. Okay, seems like complicated, but it's not. It's just to read here. You see the models. Here you see the fabrics. Okay, you cross and you find if it's possible to use or not. Very, very simple. This you find on the price list, on the diesel price list. Okay. Because otherwise, if you search on the hanger, you cannot find on the label. You cannot find if it's suitable or not for this or that. You cannot. It's not written on the fabric. So check here. Okay. Okay, this is the story of Quadrat, but I don't think you are interested in. Anyway, if you want to have more detail about the fabrics from Quadrat, you can go to Quadrat website. This I created for Chinese market in a way that if you need for more information, detailed information about one fabric, for example, steel catrio, I can give you. But if you go to Quadrat website, you will find easily. You find everything. Maybe even it's written in Chinese, so maybe because they are very, very professional. So Divina, Star, Waterboard, Matrix, Memory, Plots, House, Tokyo, Hot, Land. Okay, all the most used fabric from Quadrat. Fabric is the other producer which created this one. Okay. Rubelli from 1989 is another producer of fabric that now we are going to use a lot. Now I don't want to show you like I did yesterday because you don't have pieces here.
Just because I found this.
Ah, okay.
Yesterday, but it's just a small sample with there. But I'm not sure if you have time.
No, but very, very fast.
Yeah, very
just
fast.
to let you understand. Very fast. I would like to tell you something. A very nice story. Rubelli is a factory of fabric based in Venice. So they used to produce this kind of fabrics. So very classic, using silk, shiny effect, embroidery, all these kind of things. Very classic, because you know we are talking about Venice, which is one of the most classic cities in the world. Okay, so they produce fabric of this kind of fabric. We decided to call them and to collaborate together to create a new way, a new kind of interpretation about the Moroso pieces upholstered with the classic fabrics. So, new design, modern design, cross with classic fabrics. This is something really new. Okay, so we call this operation Setting the Elegance. Okay, this is the catalog. On this catalog, you find the pictures of many pieces of Moroso, normal pieces, but upholstered in a very strange way because we used a family of fabrics unusual for Moroso. This one, for example, Rubelli was created for us this selection of fabrics that is a very special fabrics. We are talking about silk, we are talking about very vintage effects, okay, something that seems like very old, you know, with the flowers, with the colors that are like silk, gold, silver, all these kind of colors. That is not very, it's not normal for Moroso, because Moroso usually is plain color red, plain color yellow. Okay, in this case we are trying to do something completely different. Okay, velvet. Okay, but we ask also to Quadrat to do the same. Of course, following the Quadrat way of doing things. That is not the only one. It is different. Quadrat, they create in collaboration with Raf Simons. You know, Raf Simons was the designer of Dior. Used to be for a long time. So Raf Simons create for Quadrat as new fabrics, starting from an idea of elegance and classicness, but starting from the fashion. Okay, so classic in fashion is not 18th century, but is the 50s. Okay, the 50s where everything started in France and in Milan also, where the elegance started to be fashion. Okay, so you find lots of very nice fabrics that give you an idea of the very elegant coats of a girl from the 50s in Paris. Okay, you see this is a velvet, a huge velvet. A velvet that can give you the idea of the how to say in English, no? For the jacket that have this part, higher part.
是那个像微波，就是微波成那个。
This part of the jacket, you know, in the 50s, in the 60s, you know, very very used. So big velvet like this one. This is half a centimeters of velvet, which is something amazing. We have incredible colors also. We have, I can tell you, this is a black velvet. The velvet is so thick that when you use it for upholstery in a piece, the light is absorbed by the velvet. So it's like the effect is like a black hole. You cannot really understand the shape of the object because it's so dark, and the light is absorbed so much by the velvet. So the result is amazing, amazing. If you do something with this kind of velvet, it's something out of this world. Okay. So if you use the blue, this electric blue, is something that we did Newton, you know Newton from Massimo Yosaghini, done with this kind of velvet. We sold 3 in a week because we put it in the entrance on the window. So the people was amazed by this color, so strong. Okay. And this is set in the elegance. Maybe in the future you will have some pieces. I don't know if your boss will want to do it or not. But anyway, it's very very interesting. Okay. So I think I'm finished. You can finish. If you have some suggestion or some to ask something, please don't be shy.
想问一下，那paper 它椅子，它不是有施华洛世奇的这个？那它清洗的时候不会掉？
确定是fabric made out of smaller skin.
Yes.
And what is the drop off if you wash it?
You cannot wash because it's not removable.
它不是拆卸式的套，所以不能清洗。
那一般如果这样附着在上面，那我
It's not removable, the cover. first is not removable. So, as all the pieces that are not removable, Moroso is not the only producer that do not removable thing. So, as everybody else, if you have a chair or an armchair that is not removable, you have to be careful, of course. Then is a simple, it's a remix. So you can try to wash out. Okay, if you drop down a coffee on, you throw it away. As all other brands do. It's not a problem of Moroso, it's like this.
可能就是要麻烦你，就是填写客服的书单，看看他们是否有专业的厂商可以协助客人。但是原厂的意思是说，咖啡真的撒上去这种东西，其实没救的，就丢了它才。
Be careful. Not to drink red wine on the system. It's not a good idea.
就是我们一般会清洁房子，可能就是先用那个去沾
好吧，那就
小人物嘛，他说那时候就是你不能够一般，因为他就不让你拆，因为他怕你送洗之后水钻也会掉。那这种人就要看，就是你要回报给客服维修单位，跟他讲这个沙发上面是有贴水钻的，然后要看有没有厂商愿意接或不愿意接。可是这个都是应急嘛，危机处理的部分。假如当然是希望不要走到这一步，所以在销售的时候就要告知客人说，这个是刷肉是水钻，不会因为我们做使用上它会掉，因为原厂不会设计一个水钻会一直掉的椅子给你，它一定是贴合好的。可是如果你弄，因为你弄脏了，这个布当然是不可以去洗涤或干嘛的，因为它有水钻会容易脱落嘛。像我们衣服有时候有贴钻，也很容易掉嘛，不管你是不是买到既有的，或是Laughing 的，或是 Dandy 的，一样都会掉。所以他的意思是说，所以他就把它做成是这个沙发的布套就是不能拆。那这样子的话，就是要告知客人说，你自己使用上要小心，你就不要坐在上面喝红酒、喝咖啡、喝牛奶，或是要在上面吃牛肉面，然后沾酱油，吃蒜蓉酱油配水饺，对不对？就不要用那张椅子作用，所以可以拿来休息，或是摆着好看客人坐的时候，或者说你可以就是你就尽量不要在上面喝咖啡嘛，这样子，对。就是说告知客人说这个椅子它是比较要照顾的。那如果你要买这个东西的话，我会建议你就是要小心照顾它这样子，那就去避免后面这一块客服维修的发生。那当你说我们那么难清洁，也还好了，我们一辈子也没撒过几次咖啡在沙发上啊，对不对？那家人，你说，你问，讲完了，我讲完了。
那个楼下我们有一个Diesel跟Moroso的那个沙发，然后因为我们有进了 cushion， 那个 cushion 的话是前面是皮革，然后后面是布。那我想问说，那个皮革的那个部分，它是有用什么蓝染的技术，就有特别难制作吗？
We have got a Diesel Moroso sofa downstairs, and we have a cushion which is half fabric and half of the other half of the leather. And because the color of the leather is rather special, it's like the wash away its blue jeans. So she's asking if this is done by a special technique
Yes, it's
to
done.
dye the leather.
Yes, the diesel leather is treated with in a special way. It's you know that the leather is treated and always is painted. Okay, in this and after paint they put normally they put a layer of varnish to protect the leather. Okay, and keep it shiny shiny, sorry, and perfect. In the case of diesel, it's not like this. They paint, yes, they paint the leather, but they paint by hand. So the paint is not really. It's not regular, let's say. It's not perfect with itself. And then after they don't put the protective layer. They don't put, so the leather remains really soft, and if you scratch with your nails, if you scratch, the scratch remains. Everything you do on the leather remains on the leather. Okay, this is made on purpose. It's not a defect. It's made on purpose because these guys, they want that the leather be like the jeans, exactly. So not plain color, but with spot, with different area, with different colors. Okay.
他的意思是说，的确那块皮革是经过特殊染色的过程。那通常就是皮革在后续，就是后面就是染色，就后面它有两段，就是表层处理还有两段。一个就是说它会再涂料，就是涂上颜色再上色，就染完之后他们会再涂料再上色。然后上完颜色之后呢，他们会再上一层保护层，就是让那个皮革比较不容易那么的被刮伤或什么的。可是基手他们的做法，基手Moroso这个沙发做法是因为他们是因为基手特别的要求，希望说这个皮革是可以像他们牛仔布一样，就是经过水洗啊，后面有一些就是破口或什么是留着的使用的痕迹。所以他们不一样的是，他们不是就是用涂布或是整个机器整个，他们是用或者说一个颜色就是从头涂到，他是用手工去制造那个晕染的效果，就跟他的桌子一样是用刷的，然后去制造那个晕染的效果，所以就是要让它有那种渐层啊不均匀的，有那种水洗牛仔布的效果。然后最后呢，他们不再上保护层，所以它的质感会比较软一点、柔一点。然后但是这样然后也会，如果你有使用的痕迹，比方说你指甲刮到，一般皮革我们可能揉一揉就回来了，可是那个的话就刮到就刮伤了。如果你刮得用力的话，它就是刮痕就留在那。可是这也是第一手工品牌想要的。对。
Other question?
还有
上次我们有放一个微软案，台湾，然后他们就是在台湾有到一个微软案，然后他们就是截图Moroso网站上面的彩图，然后那时候就是去请原厂报价，跟他们说上面用的彩图的那个样式，上面的布料不一定是他们的。
你是在官网上裁图
你说哪一个不是他们自己的？我知道那个案子，对。
对啊，你说就是我不知道你是盗用完嘛，然后从官网上截图下来的这个彩图。
对。
然后你那时候就说他们不会用他们自己去作为他们的形象。
这样吗？我怎么有点忘记？是
说他是就是只发展生产的，因为那个对在他们的话，你点进去直接截图下来。
对，
是不会不会在那边。
可是布是，它是那时候是因为比较特殊，布现在没有吗？还是什么？
你是从 project 里面点的话，那个是他跟人家刻制的。
对，是不是这样？因为我有点忘记细节，那个时候。对。不过你说那时候是怎么回答？就说
那我很好，因为他有一些，还可以直接看到。
你说那所以那个不能，所以是说不能提供。
因为上次就是我画上
对。你说有时候会就是它上面用布，然后原厂找不到有相对应的布，然后它没有办法提供，是这样吗？
有可能等级那个价钱就放出去了。
可是到最后都有找到啊，我记得最后。
另外呢，彩色布的话，
好，所以你只想问，就是这件事。
Depends. The picture you see here, it's always you can find here. The picture you can find on other catalog must be sometimes happens we have some pieces covered with the special fabric that is not available.
Sometimes we have that.
On the for example, on the book at home. Its own book. Only if you look on its own book, sometimes some pieces are covered with strange fabrics. Which is yes.
But it doesn't like have a production.
No, sometimes.
Sometimes. 我想一下，是不是那个或许就是他说像 at home 那个行路里面的，可能会有这种事情发生。有时候他们确实就是可能就是真的要问，因为确实有可能他说有一些情况下，你那个东西它可能就是他们做一个形象，然后就只是拍那样的照片，可是那个不一样，他们之后并没有开放给。对，可能是这样。
For example, sometimes we use African fabric, which is very special fabrics come from. No, this is not. This was in production.
Yes.
Now it's not anymore in production. So this is old. This is old.
所以或许那个也是旧的，所以它现在没有了。
是从让它直接解决下来。
所以也有可能。所以我现在不然你等一下，因为它还会有一点时间在这边，不然你等一下可以上就是收信，你找一下当初的那个，可以再跟我讲，我再问他。对啊，因为我们还会在一两个小时再问我。
他等一下就要去韩国了，对不对？
对，他等一下我们会再咨询一下。所以你有什么你先找到你再打给我，然后我可以直接再问他。对，因为他要去韩国，没错。Yeah.
Okay.
温迪怎么没有一起走？
So thank you very much for your. Sorry for my. I was late, but sorry. I had some problem this morning.
Okay.
This is.